Joining us now is Republican Congressman of Arizona, Paul Gosar. Paulie, what's shaking?
Not much. They just got back from the State Department, Dennis.
Brief us, baby, as you got briefed. What's up?
As I got the chance to talk to you last time, I'm one of those keymasters always looking for the answers.
Yes.
So we were tired of seeing stonewalling in regards to getting answers about Benghazi. And so we took a letter back over to the State Department, hand-delivered it, and asked a number of questions. So we got a couple answers in regards to email accounts that they don't use, but we did not get answers in regards to who put out the false narrative, who gave the order to stand down. And so we need more and more people to get involved in trying to get answers, particularly on this anniversary of remembrance for 9/11 and for those victims in Benghazi.
Well, you realize Susan Rice will be somewhere down the road, somebody's VP candidate, and one of the things in her CV that they'll praise is her handling of this. I mean, she's a made woman. You know that. I don't know who told her to go out and parrot that story, but it's not exactly costing her within her party, is it?
No, but it should be appalling to the American citizens that we never leave anybody behind, and a false narrative should never be taken in regards to those that we did leave intentionally behind. And I think it should follow Ms. Clinton as well as Susan Rice.
Well, and intentionally implies some sort of competency. Is it possible for it to be intentional through just complete? You see the way this man is the last couple weeks on Syria. This is a dithering, mincing presidency. I think, to say deliberately leave behind. Explain that to me. I'm not sure I'm on board with that. That intones malice.
I'll actually, I refer to Hillary Clinton when she was a candidate for the presidency. She called this president as a candidate incompetent and not,
I'm with you there, but malevolent as far as our own people, I don't know if I can go there. What do you have on that?
Say that again, Dennis.
I can go with you on incompetent. Couldn't agree more. Find him to be really inept civil servant. But when you say deliberately left behind, it intones some level of malevolency on his part. I don't get that.
Well, the thing about it is that we had requests for additional security. You look at the Syrian debacle, Dennis. We had some people that have died in a civil war, and we have 5 destroyers and an aircraft carrier over there. Well, let's go back to Benghazi, where we had over 200 terrorist incidents. We had an assassination attempt on the British ambassador and on the International Red Cross. They took down their flags and left and went home. We had Al-Qaeda flags flying all around. We knew something was coming, and we did nothing. We had the Secretary of State sign off on Benghazi and Tripoli because they didn't meet State Department standards. And when they asked for additional security, they got nothing. And so, where was the stand down on this? This was deliberate. In fact, Ms. Clinton conveniently had the number to call Greg Hicks at 3:00 in the morning during those attacks.
Well, listen, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I agree with you that it's completely inept. I'm just saying I don't think anybody sat down and thought we shouldn't rescue that man. I think it's ineptitude. I think they're the gang who couldn't shoot straight, as opposed to Dr. Evil. That's all.
Well, but even if they're incompetent, you still have to be held accountable.
Yeah, you're right. Right. All right, we're talking to Representative Paul Gosar. What'd you make of the speech last night, Paulie? I didn't watch it. Did you watch it, or you guys just as tired as I am?
Yeah. It's weak.
Yeah, gee.
It seems like he knows an awful lot about Syria, but sure is tight-lipped and doesn't want to spill the beans about Benghazi.
Well, he's going to slip this, though, my friend. I think he's going to come out of this. I've seen him claim victory with a lot less on his side. He's going to say, "We never struck," and they still, I believe, will send some stray missile in to hit a vat of nerve gas or some plane sitting on a tarmac somewhere. But by and large, I think I've seen him claim victory with a lot less fixins, put it that way.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see on this international stage that when we led behind, we left a vacuum and Putin filled it. And it's going to be interesting to see the moxie of Putin distort what the president claims is victory.
Yeah, the world thinks we're the great. The Arab world thinks we're the great Satan, man. They ain't seen nothing until former KGB takes over. They're going to call us and ask us if we can come back, I think.
Well, and I think that, he'll even get more resounding applause when he takes his shirt off, as you've highlighted.
Oh, my God. That is, please. Why'd you have to put that swing thought in my head? We're talking to Paul Gosar of Arizona. Paul, you went back, and did you do some town halls when you went home, or did you do any speeches back there?
I do. I always go in. Anybody wants to talk to me, I'm happy to talk to them. Any question is fair game. I only ask three things.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Paul.
I ask three things. Number one, be civil. Number two is when you rant and rave, I'm going to ask you what your solution is, because America deserves the best of solutions. And if you do provide a solution, we open it up to the crowd, pros and cons. And then when we're done with your issue, please sit down and listen to your neighbor. You just might learn something.
Are people adhering to that? Because it
seems
absolutely. Like they're lighting McCain up now.
Oh, well, the thing about it is I have town halls that'll go 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I'll wear you out. But, I think that's what's fun about it is.
Good for you, baby. Like a water baron on a surface. I dig that. But, it is funny, Paul, how the half-life on this stuff is unbelievable to me, how quickly it goes off the radar screen. But I'm still aghast, gobsmacked at the IRS thing, that they were flagging the word patriot to audit you. And I'm saying, what do you find when you're speaking in front of people? Do you speak to that issue? Are people still livid? Have they forgotten
it? Absolutely. That boogeyman's out. And boy, I'll tell you what, you can't put him back in a box. I mean, now we've extended it to veterans, groups and whatnot. Boy, that is an out of control agency.
Mm-hmm. And what about the EPA overreach? Now, Paul, I always tell this story, and I'll tell it real quickly. One night I got a call from these farmers up in the Central Valley up here in California. They sent a small plane for me, flew me up. They wanted to show me this slide presentation they had. As I'm going in, the pilot, who's part of the organization, said, note the checkerboard pattern of the most fertile farming territory, probably in the world today. Half the fields were shut down. I'm thinking, why does it look like that? Why isn't everything lush and green? I get that. I go to the meeting. They show me a slide presentation on a little spermatozoa resembling creature called the Delta smelt, and how they have to feed it with water from upstream, and it has to be diverted from farmland to feed this damn thing. And I'm thinking, the EPA's crazy, for God's sakes.
Oh, it absolutely is. We actually over the break had a congressional hearing that we drew over 600 people in regards to the EPA and IRS overreach, and people were livid. We went 6 hours and didn't even get through all the witnesses.
Well, I don't know, Paulie. What do you give me some light at the end of the tunnel? Because I don't see it. I, honest to God, think this guy's going to come out of the Syrian thing, at least with his devotees, with more credibility. It seems to be, as I've said, in a befuddled world, the most befuddled man in the kingdom is the befuddled king, and that would appear to be the case here.
Yeah, and he still doesn't know he has no clothes on.
No, he does.
The thing about it is, Dennis, I think the thing that we have to do is I'm tired of defending. I want to go back on the offense. And that's why we had our hearing in Arizona, because we have the Navajo generating station that this president has decided that he's going to do by fiat because he couldn't pass cap and trade. He's going to do it in Arizona at the Navajo generating station.
Wait a second. You guys create Navajo Indians in a station somewhere?
Oh, yeah. It's a coal-fired plant that actually pumps water out of the Colorado that made Phoenix and Tucson. I mean, 50% of the water goes to Phoenix is delivered by that canal system, and 80% of Tucson, and they want to shut it down.
I got all confused. I thought you were doing a Will Smith film thing where you're making Navajo Indians out there to that old cartoon music. Da, 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 da. Anyway, so people are, there has been a call to action. People are starting to show up and pissed off.
I have said that it's the jurisdiction of Congress, and that this coal-fired plant doesn't have the direct jurisdiction of the EPA because of treaty obligations. This coal-fired plant sits on treaty land, on tribal land, and it's interwoven in the treaty obligations from water settlements to water policy to employment law at a coal mine and at this Navajo generating station. Well, that's the sole purview of Congress, not the administration. And the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled, if I'm not mistaken, 100% on the time on Congress's jurisdiction. And I'm not giving it up. We're going to go down with a fight. And so what we want to do is we want to pick this fight. What we've said, which is up to dispute, is I believe I have a remedy in the Supreme Court that they have to validate that jurisdiction. And it's a fast-track mechanism to settle who's got that jurisdiction, and I'm not going to cede any more to the executive branch.
Well, I'll tell you what, Paulie, and I mean this as a compliment, man. They pissed the wrong guy off with you because you seem bright enough and earnest enough and also pissed off enough that you're not going to give up on any of this. Good for you, baby. Go get them.
Well, we need more people that say, listen, we can do, and that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And when more people get involved, it makes light work. That many hands make light work. This really does. So we need a bunch more key masters asking for a lot more answers.
All right, Paul. Rep. Paul Gosar of Arizona. Thanks for your time, baby.
Thanks, Danny.
Oh, I like that.
What happened there at the end of that call? Let's break that down. Did he call me mini hands or many hands? I don't want to say I'm overreacted, but I think he just called me mini hands.
I think that you heard that because you wanted to.
And by the way, if Anthony Weiner is texting today, would not a great new name be Coalfire?
Coalfire? Like KOHL fire?
I don't know. I just like the sound of it. I thought, geez, Commander Coalfire would be a
good
name.
Oh, there you go. You got to give him a rank. Commander Coalfire.
There we go. Coming down. Both genitalia are popping.